Big Podcast.
I spent years in the music industry, and I'm going to give you a hint from the music industry that is going to help you with your podcast. I'm going to go deeper into it, but it has to do with boy bands and maybe girl bands, the kind of thing like Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. These days, we would think about K-pop. If you want a tip from working with bands like that, that's going to help you grow your podcast, stick around. It's Big Podcast Playbook. My name is David Hooper, and bigpodcast.com. That is the URL. If you want more information about me, find all about that background that I've got, go there. The URL is bigpodcast.com. This is a listener email. He said, hey, my name is Marcus. And first of all, thank you. Your show honestly keeps me fired up when I'm close to burning out. You're the one voice in man, this guy's going on. You're the one voice in podcasting that makes audience growth feel possible, not just theoretical. This is my struggle. My marketing podcast has been publishing consistently for over a year, but my subscriber count has completely flatlined. That is a common struggle, Marcus. And here's what he's done. He says, I've tried posting daily clips on Instagram and TikTok, and I've done a couple of guest swaps with similarly sized shows, but none of it has moved the needle. I'm excited about my content, but overwhelmed and confused about what to fix next. Could you break down what I should focus on to finally get subscriber growth going again? So this guy's got a marketing podcast. I don't know exactly what that means, but he's been consistent about it for over a year. And let's say that's weekly. That seems to be a pretty common frequency. Let's just assume he's got, 50, 60 shows, but subscriber count has flatlined. That happens. And partly why that happens, Marcus, is that we're like cigarette companies. If you imagine cigarette companies, we have people dying off and we've got new people coming in all the time, or you hope new people are coming in all the time. So if you're flatlining, it doesn't necessarily mean that new people are not coming into your podcast. It could be, and this is any podcast, this one included, anything that I've ever worked on, you've got people that think, oh, I got all I needed to from this guy and I'm moving on, or I'm busy, or I'm on holiday, or I lost my iPhone, whatever. They drop away, and you've got people that are finding your podcast every day. Now, maybe it's not a lot, but to see real growth where those numbers are going up, you've got to have more people coming in than are leaving. He says, I've tried posting clips on Instagram and TikTok. That's one thing he's done. He's also done guest swaps. So let's look at these things separately. Instagram, TikTok, there are differences to that, but I'm going to treat it just the same and just say this, Marcus. Swapping formats is difficult. People are on Instagram. I'm one of those people. I like Instagram. My wife, she's a photographer, loves Instagram. It used to be a photo-centric social media platform. All it was photos. There were no videos. So she loved it. And I like it too, because a picture paints 1,000 words. I can get in, get out, get what I need to, scroll down, look at something else. And I liked it, especially when it started, because you could follow who you wanted to follow, see their photos, but you're not seeing anything else. There were no suggested photos, no videos. If you like this, you're going to like this. You saw what you wanted to see from the people you wanted to see it from. TikTok, a little bit different. That was more of, hey, you like this, so we're going to give you more of what we think you're going to like. And they did that algorithm thing so well based on what you're watching, what you liked, disliked, spent more time on, replayed. They would feed you more of that content they thought you liked, and it worked. Neither one of those things is podcasting, though. And when I say podcasting, I'm talking about something primarily that is listened to. We could argue that podcasts are on YouTube, but a long-form interview format show, a conversation, maybe it's a narrative thing. It's usually a longer, deeper type of content, something where you've got a longer, deeper type of relationship with your audience. It's not me scrolling through, oh man, Joan ate pancakes for breakfast today. Flip, flip, flip. Sally, she had waffles. Oh, flip, flip, flip. It's not like that. It's not like these funny Instagram videos that are, 30 seconds, a minute. They're a little bit longer now, where I get that content, I'm off to the next thing, and I don't know who it is that I just saw. And a lot of it's the same. Oh, it's a pretty girl dancing. Oh, it's some guy lifting weights. You know the type of content. It all more or less kind of blends in together. And a lot of we'll call them creators, content creators, influencers, whatever, they all kind of look the same. Podcasting is not like that. There are a lot of people who like that kind of content. It's not real deep, and switching them over to a longer format thing like a podcast, that's difficult. You've also got to ask yourself, am I making it obvious to the people who see me on Instagram, who see me on TikTok, that I've got something available elsewhere? And chances are you are not making it obvious. I will give you a related example. Every time I come out with a book, I make a big deal about it. I've got this book. It's called Big Podcast. It is about podcasting. And I will be talking about that book to people like you, people who are listening to this podcast, which is also about podcasting. It is switching formats. It's similar to what I'm talking about in that I'm taking you from a podcast to a book, but at least it is talking about the same thing. A year later, somebody will come up to me. Oh man, you got a new book? Yeah, dude, I've been talking about it on the podcast for a year. We're not paying that much attention, especially on something like Instagram and TikTok, where people are consuming it who knows where. I'm working out in a gym now where there's a bathroom attached to the dressing room, and you can hear people go into the bathroom and just crank up social media. And the type of influences that I'm talking about, these silly things that are like skits and the same, I don't know, like the music or whatever's trending. And they're just, I don't know, doom scrolling, trying not to make the experience any weirder than it is for them. It's the way this stuff is consumed. They're probably not going to pull up the podcast player, do a search, and find you. So I think it's great if you want to do Instagram and TikTok, but it's a different animal. It's a different type of person. They probably don't know that you've even got a podcast. You mentioned a second thing, guest swaps on similarly sized show. You say none of it has moved the needle. That's going to depend on the show. It's going to depend on how well you did with the show. It's going to depend on the relationship that that host has with the audience. Do you connect with that host? Are you connecting with the audience? Who knows? There's different reasons for doing that. In general, that's a pretty good way to expose yourself to people who are at least into podcasting. So I don't think that's a bad thing. But it's not a magic bullet. And I think that's how that has been seen for a long time. People who don't really do it, they say, oh, you need to guest swap or you need to feed swap. Just drop your show in a feed. No, man. No, you can't just do that. You got to warm it up. You got to do an intro on it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. A lot of times people find it annoying. If I'm subscribed to podcast A and then somebody throws podcast B in there, I find it annoying. And if somebody's doing it all the time because he's got his own guest swap thing set up, and I've got to do podcast B, then C, then D, and there's all sorts of different podcasts. I'm like, man, I've been subscribed to some podcast feeds. They do that so often, it's not clear what the podcast is that I subscribe to. That can be a good way because it's the same media at least, but you're going to reach a lot more people than actually say yes to your offer of going to their podcast platform, searching for your podcast, and subscribing. I told you about a couple things that don't really work so well. Let's talk about a couple things that will work. The first thing that I would do, and this is the best thing that you can do, and this goes back to what I said at the very beginning when I was doing street promotion for boy bands, Britney Spears type bands, teeny bopper acts. If you think about a boy band show, and I'm talking old school 90s boy bands, something like Backstreet Boys or NSYNC, the audience full of little girls. Those little girls do not come alone. They bring their little girl friends. Britney Spears, the audience full of little girls. They do not come alone. Taylor Swift, you go to a Taylor Swift show, you're going to take your friend. And we would do this in any kind of show that we do. People do not go to events alone. And the chances are, and you can think about this with your friends, or when you were a teenager yourself, you were hanging out with people that were just like you. If somebody likes your podcast, let's say it's an automotive podcast, I really like Corvettes and sports cars. Well, chances are that person knows people who are also into Corvettes and sports cars. So you can ask, hey, you like this podcast? Tell a friend. In fact, Marcus, let me give you a tip. Tell people to tell two friends, because not everybody's going to say yes to this, but the people who take it to heart, they will tell two friends. I'm going to tell John and James right now. They like podcasting. They love Corvettes and sports cars. We were just talking about them earlier today. Why don't I mention this podcast? You got to let people know. So tell people to tell two friends. With that said, if you got a friend, two friends who are into podcasting, tell them about Big Podcast Playbook. You can subscribe at bigpodcast.com/subscribe. Help your podcasting friends grow their podcast. Don't keep this all to yourself. That is an issue, though. A lot of times people do get competitive, especially for something like this. People say, no, I'm not going to tell them. I want to edge up on my friends. And you said you got a marketing podcast. Sometimes you're going to see that. People want to keep that edge. You're that secret weapon for them. They're not going to tell their buddies because they want to do better than their buddies. And there's psychology of that, but I would still ask for it. Don't just tell one friend, tell two friends. And that works because, again, people hang out with people who are just like them. They've got the same hobbies. They're in the same neighborhood. They're the same age, demographic, socioeconomic status. If I'm using an iPhone, chances are my friend has an iPhone. If you're using an Android, chances are your friend has an Android. That's the way of the world. We hang out with people who are like us, and that works when you're trying to promote your podcast. Now, I want to put these two things together. I talked about a live show. If you can have a live element of your podcast, that is a great way to grow it because people do not go to live shows alone. Even if you've got only one person who listens to the podcast, if you do a live event, that one person who listens to the podcast is very likely to invite somebody to come with him to that show, to that event, even if that person is not a listener. Live events, a great opportunity for you to grow your podcast. You talked about having a marketing podcast, something like an entrepreneur center, any kind of meetup situation you could do. It doesn't have to be formal. You could do it at the local coffee shop, go to meetup.com, set something up. But your podcast is what people center around. Hey, I'm Marcus. I'm a marketing expert. We're going to talk about cheap and low-cost ways for you to market your small business. Oh, by the way, I've got this podcast. Give people QR codes, however you want to do it, flyer with the URL on it. It doesn't matter, but that's a great way to get a lot of people engaged with your podcast, with you, with your information at one time. And it works. And people, when they can use more senses, not just listen to you, but see you, smell you, touch you, feel you, have the vibe of the room, feel like they're part of something, they're more likely to subscribe to your podcast because they can bring that energy home with them. You got questions, you can reach out. You can also subscribe. Both of those things can be done at bigpodcast.com. This is the exact page to subscribe. Some people call it follow these days. Doesn't matter. The URL is the same. bigpodcast.com/subscribe. There you will find a button for Android. If all your friends have Android, tell them about it. You're going to get a button for iPhone. You're going to get a button with the RSS feed. If you want to subscribe via RSS, 3 buttons, iPhone, Android, and RSS. All of them available at bigpodcast.com/subscribe. Go there now before you forget. And I will see you on the next episode of Big Podcast Playbook.